It was spring of one of my years in high school. My school was having a state championship soccer game that weekend. So the day before, a couple of my buddies and I went out to the field because they painted it for the state championship. And it started as a dare. One of my buddies was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if we ran across the field in the middle of the game?" And I took it a step further and I was like, "Yeah, well, I'll go streaking in the middle of the game." And it's sort of one of those moments where we all pause, and my friend was like, "You won't do that." And I was like, "Challenge accepted." So we came up with this plan that I would cut a hole in a fence so that after I was done running the field, I could go through the hole and escape through the woods. So I went back to his house, grabbed some wire cutters, went back to the field, cut a big hole in the fence. It was behind a shed, so you couldn't see that the hole was there. So we cut the hole, and everything was set up for the following day. The next day comes. We decided that if I did it completely naked, then I could have some serious issues on my hands, like I don't know, get charged for public indecency, which I actually was charged for. But I didn't want everyone seeing my wiener. So anyway, we get to the game. I didn't know exactly when to do it, but we got to the game. We were out hanging out. I had a few drinks of something. I don't know, just because that's what you did before a game. I decided to wear a Speedo, and I hiked it up into a thong so you could see my butt cheeks and the bulge. So you knew what was going on, but not completely. I also didn't want the school to find out who I was, so I came up with the idea of wearing a Mexican wrestling mask, so they wouldn't know who was running the field. So we got the mask, got the Speedo. I put it on, put some shorts over it. Anyway, I hid the mask, and I went into the game. I don't remember exactly how far I waited into the game, but I waited until the ball went out of bounds, so I didn't interfere with the actual gameplay, because I didn't want to be a total douchebag. But, so it was time to do it. I looked around at everybody. I said something along the lines of, "I love you guys." I threw my pants down, I took off my shirt, I threw the mask on, and I hopped the fence. I ran straight, perpendicular to the field, to the middle of the field, and I don't think anybody noticed what was going on at first, because I didn't hear anything, but once I got to the middle of the field, I took a right and started running as quick as I could to the end of the field to get away through the fence. But it was funny. I didn't hear any shouting or anything. But as I was running across the field, the crowd got louder and louder and started cheering, and just became an uproar by the time I got to the end of the field. So I turned around. I don't know what I did. I saluted or something. Anyway, I gave him a wave, and I ran behind the shed. And anyway, I got through the woods. I ran to my car. So I did it. I had done it. I was fine. Nobody knew who I was. I did it. Only a couple people knew who I did. But I had the great idea when I was at my car. I was like, "I guarantee you I can get back in," which was stupid. So I put the mask in my shorts. I still had the Speedo on. I had the mask. Anyway, I started running back through the woods. There's a trail behind there to get back to the game. And that's when there was a cop. A cop was right there, and he stopped me and said, "Why were you running?" And, I made up a lie. I was like, "I don't know, I'm just trying to get to the game. I'm late." He's like, "Well, we just had a disturbance. Somebody ran across the field." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And he was like, "What's that bulge in your shirt?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "That bulge in your shirt." I lifted up my shirt, and there was the mask. I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's a guy who ran past me and gave me this mask." And he was like, "Uh-huh, sure." And it was so stupid. He cuffed me, and he walked me back in front of everybody so that everybody could see that I was getting arrested for what I did. Anyway, that was the story of Pollo Loco. They called me Pollo Loco as kind of a trademark to what I had done. That's the story.